Good afternoon. I'm Susan Checkout-Lusignan, Director of Marketing and Program Development for the Friends and Foundation of the Rochester Public Library. FFRPL expands the Rochester Public Library's community impact through fundraising, marketing, and programming. We also provide supplemental materials support to libraries in 8 counties through restricted funds. Welcome to Tuesday Topics, one of FFRPL's legacy programs. Our Winter 2025 series will highlight a few of the director's favorite things. We are live streaming the formal portion of today's program to the library's YouTube channel. If you are looking to access the induction loop service in this auditorium, please adjust your hearing aid to the T switch. In honor of Patty Utaro, Director of the Monroe County Library System and the Rochester Public Library, FFRPL's Winter Tuesday Topics series showcases 4 special projects and areas which she selected. Patty retires in February after a career dedicated to the library. Mayor Evans says, Patty has been an exceptional leader of one of our most critical community resources for 16 years, and she will be sorely missed. Patty has been a model public servant, ensuring that our libraries remained rich resource centers of engagement, lifelong learning, and access. In lieu of retirement gifts, please consider donating to the Harold Hacker Fund for the Advancement of Libraries in Patty's honor. The fund supports grants for innovative projects and programs and professional development to eligible regional libraries. You can make a gift in Patty's honor at ffrpl.org. Today, Tonia Burton, Children's Services Consultant for the Monroe County Library System, will talk about the importance of early literacy, and she will highlight related library programs such as Raising a Reader and Talking is Teaching. Raising a Reader is a data-driven national family reading program which provides weekly bags of books to parents of children from birth to 5. The Rochester Public Library is a Raising a Reader affiliate. Talking is Teaching is a national campaign to boost the early learning and brain development of children from birth through age 5. The Talking is Teaching Talk, Read, Sing campaign is part of Too Small to Fail, a national initiative of the Clinton Foundation. FFRPL has provided long-standing support of the Children's Center, including funding from grants and donors for Talking is Teaching and Raising a Reader. Please join me in welcoming Tonia to our podium.
Thank you, Susan. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out in the cold today. So, like she said, I am Tonia Burton, the Children's Services Consultant. And when Susan called me and told me what the topics were going to be this year, that it was going to be Patty's favorite things, I wasn't shocked that she wanted me to talk about early literacy because I know that Patty really believes in children's services and the importance of early literacy, and that was just obvious to me because she created my position. As soon as there was a way for her to do it, she saw the importance of having someone in the library system that could spearhead different projects and things. And so when she did that, I felt like I won the lottery because I have the best job in the world. Though I don't think either Patty or myself were really sure what this position would entail. Luckily for me, Patty let me make the position into what I felt it needed to be to best serve our community. And I don't think it's a secret to anybody here that reading, along with school readiness, is very important for graduation rates. And especially in our area, those are things that have been top of mind for most people involved in education. And no one organization can do it all. I think one of the things that makes the Monroe County Library System and the Rochester Public Library such a strong force in our community is our willingness to join forces with other organizations to meet the needs of the people that we serve. Rochester has a tremendous history of early childhood workers advocating for children and their families and working together. And through these partnerships, I've learned a great deal about early childhood development, which is not something that had been taught in library school back when I went a few years ago. So through these partnerships that we had, I really came in at just the right time where other organizations, the city school district, different other organizations that serve, there's NACI, which is a chapter of early childhood throughout New York State, and some other places. We're really looking to the library, like, what are you guys doing? How can we help? And there were a lot of opportunities for us. And so why early literacy? Well, early literacy is the foundation for kids. It's so important. It is the first 3 years in a child's life builds the foundation for their entire life. Between birth and age 3, a child's brain forms over 1 million neural connections every second. And since we're the library, our role in early childhood seems obvious that it's books. But we've always had the books. So when I came in, I looked at, okay, what are we doing with the books? How are we using the books? What do we need to do? And I thought, well, we can make some changes. And, sometimes changes give us different chances. And so I looked at all of the programs that were in Rochester, in New York, in the country, and other places, serving kids. And there is no shortage of programs for reading. Some of them are evidence-based, some are not. There's a lot of companies that promote their literacy program. So it really took some time to know, okay, where is RPL should we start? And what do we already know? So I had to really look at, where do library staff have their expertise? Where is it really? And in story time. Back in 2006, I wasn't here yet. I was working at Brighton Library, but RLC, the Rochester Regional Library Council, offered a training called Every Child Ready to Read at Your Library. It was in this very room. I was actually on maternity leave at the time, and that kiddo was graduating this year, so it was a little while ago. But I was looking for an escape out of the house, and I came to the training and learned so much about brain development and reading and working with parents and going at story time in a different direction. So I had that in the back of my head when I came. And so looking at other things, so Every Child Ready to Read is really based on helping parents understand that they need to talk, sing, read, write, and play with their kids every day. And the way that librarians develop their story time is based on talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing, and modeling it for parents and showing them different ways that they can do this throughout their day. But this is really just for story time. There were some workshops that were offered for parents in other libraries. Where I was at Brighton, we didn't really feel like, the parents got this, they didn't really need it. Like, our story times were always at capacity. We had to turn people away, so we felt like we didn't need it. Until a parent said, hey, Irondequoit Library is doing these great Every Child Ready to Read workshops, why aren't you? And we realized that all parents everywhere want, first of all, a place where they can go and find community. They want you to let them know, hey, here's what I'm already doing with my kiddos. What else can I do? And they want other people to share about, hey, what works in your family? Well, this works in mine. I should try that. So we started doing those workshops, and it went great, and it was fine. But then fast forward a few years, and I came here. And I was looking at, all right, are we going to be able to get parents to come here? Is that type of workshop, is that going to fit? And when I first started here, I came for my first interview in August. And I left, it was in the middle of the day, so I took a half day. I left Brighton Library, where it was like a zoo. It was a madhouse because it's summer and it's summer reading. And I came here, and there really wasn't anybody here. It was really quiet. So it was a different place than what I had been used to. And so I had to find something else that would work for parents. And so it just so happened that one of the staff that worked here as a substitute librarian, I had also worked at previously with Brighton, and she and I took the Every Child Ready to Read training several years before. And so she sent me a text and said, hey, I left something on your desk. It was a Saturday. look at it when you get in on Monday. So I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe like one of her kids colored me a picture, or, maybe she left me an inspirational message. She's like, one of those people. And, so I came in, and on my desk was this article, Changing the World One Bright Red Book Bag at a Time. And you can see the note, Tonia, this is what I, parentheses, we want to do, exclamation points. Let's talk about how to get this started, Adele. I read this article, and this was in the September, I can't read the date on it, article or issue of School Library Journal. And so I read it, and I was like, wow, this Raising a Reader program, this sounds great. This could be really good for us. I learned that Raising a Reader is designed to change the reading practices in the home and build a daily book cuddling routine. And that just really spoke to me, like that daily book cuddling. Like, that just sounds cute, right? But what really sold me is that it's evidence-based, which is what Every Child Ready to Read was. It was based on research on what people who are way smarter than me figured out works with changing the culture of the home and helping kids get ready to read. So I was sold on it, that like, this sounds great. At this time, there were still library fines. It's really hard for parents to get to libraries. There were lots of barriers, and Raising a Reader was a way we could remove all those barriers. We could just put red bags of books together and give them out to parents in places they're already going. So we started with Early Head Start home visiting, who happened to be, and this is just pure luck, Tim Hortons opened many years ago, and they had a reception in this room. Everybody was down here. I saw some, a group of adults mingling and talking, and they said, oh, hey, do you know, is there a children's room here? And I said, yeah, actually, it's right upstairs on the second floor. And they wanted to know if we would have field trips here, and I said, absolutely, where are you with? They said, we're with ABC Head Start, and we're looking for something to do with our parents. We have parents meet once a month, and we need to put some type of literacy plan in our meetings. I was like, wow, I've got the program for you. And so they sent their supervisor down to talk to me. I was completely upfront with him, and I said, look, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how we're going to get it to work. I've got no money, but do you want to try it? And he's like, yeah, let's see what we can do. And then in my head, it's like the next day, but I'm sure it was like not the next day. Ned Davis, who was the former director of our foundation, was giving a tour to some donors, and they went to every division and said, if you could do one thing, one new program, what would you do? And I said, I just read about this new program called Raising a Reader, and I talked to them about the program. And then they gave the first donation so we could start with 50 families serving with Raising a Reader, and that was about 13, 14 years ago. So we started with Raising a Reader, and this allowed us to meet face-to-face with parents, with teachers, with grandparents, with aunties, whoever's in the children's family, letting them get to know us, build relationships with us. At the end, I'll introduce you to a parent who I started with all those years ago, who we still have a relationship with. And really just giving them different tips every time we met on different ways they could share literacy with their kids in easy, accessible ways. And so how Raising a Reader actually works, for those of you who don't know, so there's this red bag. These are all of the different logos that Raising a Reader themselves have had. So the newest one is the pink kind of sunshine. So the red bag gets filled with 3 books that depend on the kiddo's age. So we ask the teachers to fill out a form and tell us what are the ages of the kids in your class and what are the first languages of the adults in their family. And do they have siblings? And then we try to put books together that represent the kids in that classroom. So you might have one classroom where one child needs a book in Burmese, someone else needs one in Spanish, somebody else Somali. So not every bag has all of those languages, but there will be a few bags with each language, but then also some wordless books. And then we do a workshop with parents and we show them how to do a picture walk, asking different questions with those books. So every bag that they get, there are books that they can use, whether it's in their first language or not. So we encourage the caring adults in the kids' lives to read with them regularly, and that includes the teachers and the aides in their classroom, and to create those shared reading routines every day. So these efforts are supported by easy-to-use materials from Raising a Reader and training that we give to staff in the schools that we serve. And we try to make the families, give them as many shared reading time and moments as we can with their children, and just give them ideas like, hey, if you're on the bus, like, tell a story. You don't always have to have a book with you, but like, what do you see out the window today? Oh, what letter? Let's point out everything that starts with the letter L. So those things that sometimes parents know, sometimes they don't. And then also families get connected with us by building that routine, by seeing us in their kids' schools. And then also, of course, we're sending them all of our flyers and encouraging them to come to the library for different programs. And then that helps them with the habit of borrowing and sharing books long after Raising a Reader is complete in their lives. Kids can do Raising a Reader from birth right now through kindergarten. So by getting that introduction to the library and being comfortable with library staff, it makes their library routine sustainable to them. So the Classic Red Bag program, the materials are used year after year, so it's not like we have to buy all new books every year. We do have to replace some books. Some get lost, some get ruined, just like regular library books. And the Raising a Reader book collection has books in 13 different languages, and there's thousands of books that we can choose from. Like I said, the book rotation is paired with parent trainings on how to effectively share books together with the children while instilling a love of learning. And families are also connected, again, with us throughout all of the times that we come to their kiddo schools. And we're always sending them things home too, different like literacy activity packets, which I'll show you later. So in this picture, you can see on the left is a home visiting mom reading to her child, and she was just so excited. She had someone take that picture, and she couldn't wait to send it to me because her kiddo was actually touching the book. And then on the right, you see Margarita Chavez, who is one of our early literacy specialists, and so she's reading a book in Spanish to a class at Ibero. So we try to provide as much support for the classrooms as we can, as much support for the families as we can, and we try to make it as easy as possible because we know that teachers, they already have enough to do. They don't need one more thing. Raising a Reader offers high-quality books, award-winning books. They provide bilingual books, which is so important. Children who learn more than one language may begin to speak later, but ultimately their literacy levels will be higher. So we really encourage families, use your first language at home. They'll learn English down the road, but use your first language at home, and we try to provide them with the books as much as we can. Okay, so that's a little snippet of Raising a Reader. So Too Small to Fail, as Susan said before, is a joint initiative of the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation and Next Generation, and it aims to help parents and communities and businesses take actions to help improve the health and well-being of children ages 0 to 5. So really, it's a media campaign that we participate in. So this is just one of the pieces of our early literacy strategy that we have. It's available all over the country. The local campaign is called Talk, Read, Sing, Greater Rochester. And the Monroe County Library System is the lead on this program. And really all that means is I'm the one who gets to collect all the stats and send it in to Too Small to Fail. And we support anyone who wants to come on board using the media campaign. So they have posters, they have graphics that you can use, they have lots of things that you handouts that you can give to parents if you want to. They do commercials. You may have seen the Children's Institute has a bus that has Talking is Teaching characters on it, and it's a early screening bus, so they use it for that. We do a lot with University of Rochester and Strong Hospital and Strong Pediatrics, and some of the clinics have posters for Talking is Teaching up in their clinics. We give them, when we can, bags and materials to give out to families. So we're kind of like the storehouse for the region, if that makes sense. But anybody can participate in Talking is Teaching. It's really just about parents talking, singing, and reading with their families every day. The goals for Talking is Teaching is to increase awareness and spark positive changes in parents and communities to boost early brain development. And helping parents and caregivers understand that small moments matter, that every little thing counts. And for the community as a whole, like we all have, kind of that it takes a village. We all have a part to play. And so we try to empower other community members and other people in other places to make those moments happen more often, and really just to encourage. So there's 3 components that motivate behavior change. So we have trusted messengers in the community as touch points. So it's all of our children's librarians, pediatricians from Strong are trusted messengers, teachers are a trusted messenger can be anyone. It can be everyone in this room. If you have kids in your life, you can become a trusted messenger. And that just means that people look to you and they trust what you share with them. It's as simple as that. So maybe you don't have kids in your house anymore, but you have kids in your neighborhood. You can be a trusted messenger to them and encourage the parents to talk, read, and sing with their kids. So these are all the Talking is Teaching communities around the U.S. You can see Rochester's right there. Here's our partners. In the square is the national partners, and then our partners locally. So Rock the Future, Sesame Street and Community / WXXI, the Child Care Council, Nazareth, and then Children's Institute, Get Ready to Grow. And I have to add, you have our Strong Pediatrics on there too. So locally, this bulletin board used to be on the corner of Mount Read. It's now gone, but there's the bus that I was telling you about. And anyone can use the graphics to make, a flyer look cute, and just to share information. And that may seem like a little thing, but if a parent goes to their child's school and they see a message with the same kind of look and font and pictures, and they go to their library and they see the same font and look and pictures, and then they go to their pediatrician's office, then they say, oh, wow, this is important. I'm seeing this everywhere I go. So which is why, the library system felt that it was really important that we kind of spearhead this and really help anyone who's interested in taking advantage of it. It is family-centered, educational equity, whole child development, and we really work on celebrating all languages, cultures, and traditions in our community. So the research behind this, again, I said before, I love the research-based stuff. So 90% of a child's brain is already developed by the age of 5. So this helps support brain development. Again, trusted messengers, someone who's trusted by families and supports families by delivering messages and tools on early brain and language development. This could be if you have a little free library in front of your house. You put books for kids in there. So we know that you develop trust with families not by inviting them into your world, but you develop trust by going into their world. And that is a lot of what we do. Yes, I work out of the central library, but I'm not usually here. I spend a lot of time out in the community going places and trying to meet families and partners where they're at. So some of the messages that we share with families, again, talking, reading, and singing from the time a mom is pregnant actually is important. Reading alone aloud to children, the benefits. We really stress that parents are the baby's first teacher. And really, this goes beyond just talking as teaching, but also helping parents take the role and believe that they know their child better than anyone else. This transcends into the classroom, it transcends into the doctor's office, and this is a conversation that I have with parents all the time. Oh, my child's teacher said they need this, or they need, and well, what do you think? Do you think they need that? No, I don't see them behaving like that at home. And so, well, you know your child best. This is as a parent myself, this was something that I really had to kind of get a hold of too, because I used to believe, well, the doctor's smarter than I am. They went to med school, I didn't. But they don't always know better than you do. You know your child best. So that's a really important and impactful message that we share with families. So there's lots of branded material with Talking is Teaching. So this Let's Talk About Healthy Foods, that's actually a placemat. There's DJ's Busy Day was the book. You can't really see it on the screen, but the Talk, Read, Sing, there's a tote bag. We give those out. The foundation helps us to purchase those. So we give those with the indoor activity kit that you see right next to it, and with beautiful books and sometimes toys. We bought stickers, and these are some of the graphics from Talking is Teaching. So let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about colors. So let's talk about numbers. We bought jump ropes and put the stickers on those. Let's talk about colors. We were giving out crayons in our activity packets, so we put the stickers on those. And that's just a picture of one of the bags and some of the books that we give out in the bags. So here's an example of kind of all three worlds colliding. So we have Every Child Ready to Read, which teaches librarians about developing story time based on talking, reading, singing, writing, and playing. Raising a Reader, which goes into the classrooms and working with families. And then Talking is Teaching. So this is our bedtime routines activity packet that we gave out in December. We try to give activity packets out to our Raising a Reader families before any kind of school break, because we can't see them because they're not at school. And so we use all of the resources that we have available, whatever works for families. So we were going to do bedtime routines. Routines are really important. So we use the Let's Talk About Bedtime. So what Talking is Teaching is great at is giving these nice graphics, easy to read things with questions that parents can ask their kiddos. It's not hard, but just giving them different things that they can talk about with their kids. And then, again, one of the things that we do with Raising a Reader is trying to give parents more information about early literacy. So we talk about narrative skills and why it's important to retell a story, why it's important to talk about the setting of the story, and the story structure. So all of these things together help us with our early literacy strategy throughout Rochester Public Library. And so the final thing, why is early literacy important? Because it's the foundation for everything that kids need. If they're ready to learn to read when they get to school, and this is important, we are not teaching anybody how to read. I'm not a reading teacher. I'm helping the parents and caregivers build the foundation so when kids get into school, they have all the layers that they need to be ready to learn to read, to do math, and all of those things that they do. That's why early literacy is important. And the library can't do everything, but this is something that I believe we excel at. This is where our expertise comes in. We can't do everything. I can't tutor kids in with their math and stuff later on. I'm not a tutor. I'm not a teacher. I can't solve medical issues. I can't, there's a lot of stuff I can't do, and a lot of things children's librarians can't do, but what we can do and what we do is help support families to make sure that their kids have that early literacy foundation so they're ready to be successful in school. And so one of the families that I've been friends with for a very long time, Mrs. McKnight, is in the back with little baby Joshua. So today I gave her an award. I gave to thank her for just being a consistent parent, for showing up. It's the Steadfast Parent Award, And because in the 13, 14 years that I've known her, as with all of us, she's had lots of things going on in life. But the one thing that she always does, no matter what's going on, is she brings her kids to the library. She doesn't let her kids get on the computer until they read, and they know it and we know it. And she shows up. Are we perfect parents every single day? Oh no, most days no. But we show up and we keep going at it. And so I knew she was coming in today, so I wanted to give that award to her and to thank her just for being such a great partner with us over the last several years. So thank you. So, yeah. So, that's it. So, thank you. Any questions?